The bright morning sun shone through the big windows of the office building. The clean floors looked like golden mirrors. For most people, this was just another normal day. But for one young woman, today would change everything. Her name was Amara Velasquez. She was a shy intern who worked in the huge office building. Amara liked to stay quiet and not draw attention to herself. She kept her head down and spoke very softly. Most people didn't even notice she was there. But sometimes the quietest people have the biggest hearts. And sometimes being kind can change everything, even when no one seems to be looking. Before I tell you more about this amazing story of courage and kindness, I want to ask you something. If you believe that being kind matters, if you think shy people can make a big difference, please like this video. Share it with your friends. Tell us what you think in the comments. And subscribe to Kindness Corner. When you support us, we can share more stories like this one that bring hope to people everywhere. Amara had only been working at the office for 3 weeks. She was just 21 years old. Her old backpack was full of worn notebooks, but she didn't have much confidence. Her job was simple but important to her. She helped with papers, put files in order, did small tasks, and sometimes helped visitors when the main desk person was busy. Other people might think this job wasn't special, but for Amara it meant everything. It was her first real chance to work in the grown-up world, even though that world felt too big and scary for someone so quiet. Amara had been shy for most of her life. When she was growing up in her small neighborhood, other kids often made fun of her for being so quiet and caring too much about everything. But there was one thing in her life that made her strong. Her little brother Mateo couldn't hear anything because he was born deaf. For many years, Amara helped Mateo talk to other people. She became like a bridge between him and everyone else. She learned sign language not because she had to for school, but because she loved her brother so much. She helped him talk to teachers, doctors, and even people they met on the street. This wasn't something she talked about at work. It was her special secret, like keeping a warm light hidden in her heart. That morning, the office lobby was full of busy people like always. Women's high heels made clicking sounds on the hard floor. Phones were buzzing. People talked quickly as they hurried around. Amara had to work at the front desk because the usual person had to go to a meeting. Her hands shook a little as she typed on the computer. She kept looking at the big spinning doors, worried she might make a mistake or not be good enough. Then the doors opened and a man walked in. He wore simple clothes but carried himself with quiet respect, even though he looked tired. His eyes looked around the lobby like he wasn't sure where to go. When he came to the desk, Amara saw something different about him. He had a notepad and pen in his hands. Before he could write anything, he lifted his hand in a small, careful wave and tried to speak. The words came out broken and hard to understand. Right away, Amara knew what this meant. The man couldn't hear. Her heart started beating fast. Most people in the office would have looked away, not knowing how to help. But Amara's caring heart was stronger than her shyness. Even though her hands were shaking, she lifted them up and started to sign. "Hello, how can I help you?" she asked with her hands. The man's face changed completely. His eyes got wide with surprise and relief. His hands moved quickly back to her, happy and grateful, using the language that most people ignore. He told her with his hands that he came to bring some papers, but he didn't know where to take them. Amara's nervous feelings went away as she helped him. Her hand signs were clear and patient. For the first time in weeks, she wasn't invisible. She was someone's voice, someone's helper. What Amara didn't know was that someone else was watching from across the lobby. The CEO of the company, Adrian Kessler, was standing quietly near the big windows. He had come to work earlier than usual. People at the office usually spoke about Adrian in whispers. He was known for wearing nice suits and being very smart. Adrian almost never stayed in the lobby for long. But today, his eyes caught what was happening. A shy intern was speaking a language that most people in his office couldn't understand. She was being warm and kind to a stranger who might have been ignored by others. He kept his phone in his hand but didn't use it. He just watched, and his mind became very quiet and thoughtful. Amara finished helping the visitor. She gave him a small written note to help him find the elevators. The man smiled warmly, bowed his head to say thank you, and left walking a little taller than when he came in. Amara let out a big breath. Her cheeks were red with both relief and pride. She thought no one had seen what happened. She thought it was just another quiet act of kindness that would disappear like all the other things she did that no one noticed. But Adrian Kessler had seen everything. Later that day, Amara was sitting at her small desk in the intern area. She was typing very carefully because she was always afraid of making mistakes. Then she saw a shadow fall across her desk. She looked up and saw the CEO himself standing there. His presence felt like a sudden thunderstorm in a calm room. Amara froze. Her heart pounded so hard she could hear it. Adrian looked at her for a long moment. Then he asked softly, in a way she didn't expect, about the language she had used in the lobby. Amara's voice shook as she told him about her brother. She explained how she learned sign language because of love, and how it had become natural for her to use it. She was amazed when Adrian didn't talk to her in the cold, business way she expected. Instead, he nodded slowly. His eyes showed something thoughtful and humble. He told her that his mother had trouble hearing in her last years. He said he always wished he had known how to talk to her better. "What you did today," he said, "was more than just being kind. It was powerful." From that moment, Amara's life began to change. The CEO started asking her to help with bigger projects, way beyond what interns usually do. He invited her to meetings. He asked her to help make the company better for people who couldn't hear well. Soon, the company started teaching sign language classes for workers. They made things better for customers and employees who had trouble hearing. All of this started because a shy young woman thought nobody was watching when she chose to help someone. Days turned into weeks, and Amara started to feel more confident. She was still quiet by nature, but she didn't feel invisible anymore. She had found her place, not by trying to be louder, but by letting her kindness speak in the language of her heart. And somewhere deep inside, Adrian Kessler kept remembering the picture of the shy intern greeting a stranger with gentle hands. It reminded him that being a leader wasn't just about making money or having power. It was about being human and caring about others. If this story has touched your heart so far, please take a moment to like this video. Share it with others. Subscribe to Kindness Corner. Leave a comment to tell us what you think. Your support helps keep these stories of caring and compassion alive. It helps us spread them to people who need them most.